Hi, before I share my testimony today, I would like to give a brief description of who I am. My name is Isaiah Bryant Hopkins. I'm graduating from St. Cloud State this May with a bachelor's degree in community health. My passion is to be a traveling health educator, promoting health and health prevention. I would like to create community hubs in schools, businesses, work facilities, so that everyone has access to those local resources in their area. My testimony this year has been filled with many obstacles, but I'm here today to say that I made it through it all, and I'm joyful, and I'm slowly healing. The beginning of spring semester, I had started my internship with Healthy Huskies. This was an internship that I've been looking forward to for the last couple years. Fall semester, I put in a lot of work to make sure that I had that internship with them. During the second day of my internship, I was harassed by two of my supervisors. One, when I was giving her a hug, she kissed me twice on my neck. And later that day, my other supervisor told me that I had something on my mustache. I went to try to get it off, and then she started wiping my lip off. Both situations made me feel very uncomfortable and made me very confused mentally, because I've never had a supervisor do such a thing to me. I did report the situation the following day. That night was very surreal. I woke up in a panic. I was crying because I knew I would have to tell someone the next day, and I was unsure of how things would play out after that. I told my immediate supervisor, and she brought it up to my big supervisor, and the only thing that was done was my big supervisor, she did speak to both of them, and that was it. For the next following week and a half, I was still working with them. Nothing has changed. Every time they would come into the office, I would be on guard. I would be very nervous and panicky because I was unsure if I was safe, and I was unsure that the situation would happen again. After about a week and a half of that, I told myself I couldn't do it anymore. It was mentally taking a toll on me. So I went to my professor, and she asked me if I wanted to be pulled from it, and I did say yes. She pulled me from that internship, and I did report the situation to Title IX on campus. Now, everything I did during fall semester to get that internship with Healthy Huskies, I had to do within 2 weeks to a month. I did find a new internship with Promise Neighborhood. I explained my situation to them, and the CEO, he understood my position because he went through similar situations when he was a college student at St. Cloud State. After my first day at that internship, I had gotten an email from one of the people who works for Title IX. She was checking in on me, making sure that I was okay, and I explained to her that I did find a new internship, and I started that internship, but mentally, I'm not okay. I explained to her that when my two supervisors did those things to me, it was like they snatched the light from my lighthouse. And now my spirit is guiding itself in the darkness. The woman I was speaking to from Title IX, she was concerned for my safety. She thought that I was suicidal, and she gave me two options. She said, you come with me, we go to student affairs, or we have to call public safety. Even though I had those two options, I felt like I had no options. I went with her to student affairs. I explained the situation. I explained how it was making me feel, and they thought I was suicidal as well. I explained to them I'm not suicidal. The thing that I need help healing. I need help how to make personal boundaries so what happened with me won't happen again. Student Affairs. They said that they thought I was suicidal and I needed to speak to a therapist or public safety would be called. I explained to them that the last following weeks I was going, it was like a cycle for me. Somebody would come to me and speak to me. I'll explain how I'm feeling, and then they would send me to a therapist. The therapist, all they want to do is hear the story out and then send me on my way. Well, for me, that's not beneficial. So I explained that to them, and I explained I don't think a therapist is beneficial. But if these are my options, then I'll pick the therapist because I don't want public safety to come. While I was sitting there waiting, the woman from Title IX and the woman from Student Affairs are talking back and forth in a very quiet tone, so it sounds like whispers to me. It made me very uneasy because I felt like maybe a therapist is not coming. Maybe it's somebody else coming. I was very transparent with them and I explained how I was feeling, but it was going through one ear and out the next. When I thought that the therapist arrived, it was actually police and the crisis team. What I was told was, since I said I didn't want a therapist, they said that they were going to call crisis. The therapist who was initially supposed to come, that was the same therapist who signed off on the hold and allowed the police and crisis team to come. When the police and crisis team came, I freaked out. Because I was prepared for a therapist. I wasn't prepared for police. I've never seen police in this instant. The only time I've been around police is when I'm pulled over. So I freaked out and I looked at the two women, the one from Title IX and the one from Student Affairs, and I'm saying to them, why didn't you tell me the truth? Why were you lying to me saying there was a therapist coming? I was very upset. The police took me. This is all on campus, so everyone's watching this, you know? Police took me, put me in the back of the cop car, and drove me to the hospital. At the hospital, I was put on the behavior ward wing where they take all your belongings and they put you in a jumpsuit, and you sit in a room with nothing in there for hours. While I was there, I had gotten a letter from St. Cloud State. And this was the same day. I was only at this hospital until evening. But that same day, I received a letter from St. Cloud State saying that I was withdrew. I wasn't allowed to come on the premises, do any classes, or do any internship. That hurt deeply. The reason why they withdrew me was because of me freaking out when the police and stuff came. How can you judge me when I didn't even know the police was coming? I was not aware. After I was withdrew, I had to meet with the dean, and there was 3 options for me. The first option was I agree to the withdrawal, and that's it. The second was I can graduate, but I have to do a behavioral contract. Or the third was I have to go in front of a committee and they decide whether I'm withdrew or I can graduate. The only option I felt like I had any kind of control in was going through the behavioral plan, because I felt like if I left it up to the committee and they said you're withdrew, then I'm done. And if I withdrew myself, then I'm done. I had many meetings with the dean. I met with 2 different deans, and my whole point was I was not going to I didn't want to do a behavior plan. I did not want to do that. Because I felt like I should not be punished for being harassed. And that's what it feels like, a punishment. Eventually, beginning of April, I was reinstated back as a student. The reason being was because I agreed to this behavior plan. It is a week before I graduate, and not one dean has reached out to me to do this behavior plan, which is kind of weird to me because I worked really hard those last 2 months trying to be reinstated without the behavior plan, but I couldn't. Now being reinstated, they don't want to do a behavior plan. No one's reached out to me to do anything like of the such. Once I was reinstated, I had to speak with my internship with Promise Neighborhood. I was very nervous because the last thing they heard was when I was withdrew. And I thought maybe they wouldn't want me back. Maybe they see me in a negative perspective now. I went in there, I spoke with the staff from Promise Neighborhood, and they told me that how much they were worried about me and how good it is to see me, and of course I can have my internship back. That took so much weight off my shoulders because I thought I would have to do the process all over again of finding another internship with less, maybe a month before I graduate. Now I'm currently interning with Promise Neighborhood. I was offered a summer position with them, and they're partnered with AmeriCorps. I got that position, and I'm so grateful. They've went beyond measures to help me. They see my strengths, and they appreciate them. Interning with Promise Neighborhood has taught me many things. One of those is perseverance. Your journey may not be smooth sailing. And just because it's not smooth sailing doesn't mean that you give up. You push through whatever's being thrown at you. You push through whatever people are telling you, because you accomplish what you want to do. Finish that. The last thing Promise Neighborhood has taught me is that there always will be somebody out there who loves you for you. You don't have to change. You don't have to try to fit in. Find people who validate you and accept you for you.
Let's go. Tolerating distress, learned it the hard way. I can't do it alone. The Lord by my side, I give him my stress. Relax, sit in your peace. The power of the Lord bless me with this degree. All heart, so pure, it remains in me. I thank you, Lord, you were there when others left me. I still love my people. We are flawed individuals. I completed a goal I had since 2017. We did